this is a very important time. 2 years ago, if not a year back, we've seen how the aid delivery mechanism into this destroyed or devastated lands of Gaza, we've seen how the IDF had closed this entry, and it was stationed right before the month of Ramadan. This time, however, anticipating the arrival of the month of Ramadan, this aid crossing has been reopened. What is your observation?
This is good as far as it goes, but the problem is about this relief works and other medical treatments, that Médecins Sans Borders MSP has been banned because they gave certain conditions and they didn't agree. So, this is a very important and a great organization which has been doing relief works in different types in all around the world, especially in Gaza before the closure by the Israelis. This time they were to be allowed, but they put certain conditions and they did not agree. So, they will be going out of it and will not be there. So, that is one of the limitations. Otherwise, it sounds good, but then allowing 50 persons to go in and 50 to come in, go out and come in, this is good enough to start with, but if there is 51, there is 52. So, this sort of specific numbers is not a very good thing, could have said down. So, let us see how it turns out. I believe this may be good, but it is good again that they have said those who went out of Gaza during the war will be allowed to come in, but there are many Gazan people living in surrounding areas and elsewhere. They should also be allowed to come their own home, their home country. So, that is one limitation that Israel has put in place before it. But then this is not Israel's country, they are now occupying it. The peacemakers, the so called peacemakers who will be looking after the implementation of the Gaza peace plan by Donald Trump should also look into these things. And after that, there was a serious crash, bombing and other attacks about killing about a large number of people, 32 or something.
Right.
That is also very unfortunate. Unfortunately, all these killings are nobody other than in the third world countries, nobody ever raises a finger and say that this is illegal, this is abnormal, immoral and punishable. Nobody ever says that. So, Israelis go free with all these unauthorized killings. That is unfortunate thing, but again with the limited reopening the Rafah border with limited numbers of people allowing to go out and to come in, the equal number is good. It is, as they say, nothing is better than something is better than nothing.
I wanted to understand what is the war plan or the end game regarding Gaza, regarding Lebanon to the north, and of course, we must understand the fact that human life at the end of the day is being to the extent that it's being wasted in a place like the Middle East. I want to have this following question with Mr. Ali Ahmed. Given the humanistic value of human life, 80,000 deaths, and then we have 500,000 people who have been injured, and even more, countless more who has been displaced. Their homes have been burnt down, have been destroyed by missile bombardment, and of course, even in the West Bank, we see community violence coming from the Israelis and the Israeli side. In your observation, what is the future plan? We know that this 20-point peace plan and Donald Trump's board of peace has more actors outside of the Middle East than of the Middle East and the Arab nations. What is the future? Will Gaza become a megacity?
Gaza, no, they are
maybe
trying,
not in the recent times, of course.
As Donald Trump has been saying at from the beginning, the way his son-in-law, who has been also inducted in everything, including this board of peace, has a draft plan, and it was unveiled. The plan shows a riverside cruise and other facilities, hotel, 5-star hotels and other things, and good hotel facilities, etc. So, his the French Riviera type Riviera, as Donald Trump foresaw, they are planning it, but I think the whole world nowadays, whether they are going to allow it or not, is something very bad. But then when America does something, the rest of the world remains silent. The poorer nations, because they cannot do anything, and the other nations than the US because they are either friendly or feel a little irritated, but finally doesn't say anything. So, I do not know what is going to be the future of now ravished Gaza, but it should rightfully go to the Gazans, and there it should be rebuilt at the cost of those who have destroyed it. The rich countries of the world are equally complicit in the destruction by supplying their machines, loans, some war material and everything. So, they should rebuild the whole place, including some Arab countries of course, and then the Gazans should be there. Nothing else will, even if they do, in the long run, the Donald's plan cannot be made permanent there in any way.
Of course.
People in the world doesn't accept that.
The statehood of the righthood of the Palestinians inside their own land is a very big issue, and that was the format.
Long before the coming of these Jews there, the Israel forming the state of Israel, the Gazans, the Palestinians were there. Gaza is a part of Palestine. So, and they will be up there for thousands of years. These people have been there, and they will be uprooted, killed, and the remaining uprooted. And Donald Trump will come with his Rivera type of plan and others. This is acceptable, not acceptable at all.
These were things that he wanted to talk about. I want to understand how you felt. These leaders that I was just mentioning, they are against the access of the United States of America on various fronts. There are updates regarding Iran. I will get there eventually, but I want to know regarding Epstein. It shows into the mind of the corrupt and evil. Those in the charge of leading the people are seeing the world in this kind of view.
Yes, except for some of these leaders that you talked about, who are supposed to be avowedly religious or doctrinaire and having no access to the United States. That is why many of them would not be or could not be a party to it. The problem with humans is that we all have a darker side and a brighter side. When an opportunity is offered, the darker side in many of us gets the upper hand and indulges in things like what they have done. And these kings and princes and presidents and MPs and ministers, these people having power and having access, they often think that the whole world is there, I am here, nobody will know. But when they are photographed and it is later shown, they do not feel much ashamed of it. I am afraid. So, they do it. The thing is, this sort of opportunities should not be offered, and people like Epstein should not have been allowed such a long rope to go that long, and as they say in the English phrase, and to hang himself with. Now, he has hanged himself with this. So, the law and order situation should also be better, but then the most important thing is the person's conscience. We have all evil instincts, we all have, but we should have a good conscience. I should know where we should indulge in the bad things and where we should not. That is what education means. Most of all, moral education, not the other education. So, that is very important. Otherwise, it will continue to get repeated over and over and over again.
Unless we learn from the mistakes of the past, we cannot.
As they say, what famous history, the lesson we learn from history is that we really learn nothing from it.
Because it continues to repeat over and over again.
We always think that this will go undetected, but it doesn't finally.